Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Regular Beer Reviews, where regular doesn't refer to the beers being reviewed, but to the reviewer, myself. I'm Jesse, and I'm about to review a beer that I have had quite a few times before. It's from New Belgium. This is the famous Fat Tire Amber Ale. Now, I had heard about this beer forever before I had it, and when I finally got to try it, it was pretty cool. They just launched in my area. I live in North Florida. New Belgium just launched here earlier this year, like mid to end of the summer. So anyway, let's look at the numbers on this beer. It has an 82 from Beer Advocate, which is good, and that's with 4,792 ratings. The Bros give it an 82, which is good, and Rate Beer gives it a 48 overall with a 68 for the style. It has an ABV of 5.2%. And the availability is year-round, and obviously the style is an amber ale. New Belgium, that's the New Belgium Brewing Company out of Fort Collins, Colorado. So I'm just going to go ahead and read what it says on the bottle here. It says, Fat Tire Amber Ale's appeal is in its feat of balance. Toasty, biscuit-like malt flavors coasting in equilibrium with hoppy freshness. Named in honor of a storied bike ride through Europe, Fat Tire cruises with Belgian imagination and inspiration. Take it for a ride. And like on the back there it says, pair yourself with a new bike. Yeah, I think they did like a contest or something. I'm not sure. Somebody told me something about it. I don't know. But anyway, I mentioned in another review that I did of New Belgium, I wasn't sure if they were new or just new to the area. They've been around since like '91, so apparently they're just new to my area. They just launched here this year, so they're expanding, and they're a good brewery, so I like to see that. So anyway, let's go on ahead and get this poured. That is looking nice. It is a nice dark gold, kind of a lighter amber, with red tinges in the color. It's looking pretty carbonated, with a nice creamy, kind of light beige head. Looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and get a nose on this. Yeah, definitely getting like a bready, biscuity maltiness. A little kind of heavier, kind of roastier notes like toffee or caramel there. Picking up a slight hop character in the background. It's a little bit of a piney hop, just a little bit. Maybe the slightest bit citrusy. Has kind of an earthy smell to it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this one. Very, very nice. This is very nice. Kind of that bready malt at the front, and then right at the middle of the palate, you can just taste the darker malt profile. You can taste the malt profile just kind of darken up a little bit. You taste that toffee, and then right in the middle of the palate, you just get that caramel malt. Really, really rich caramel malt. Really rich, really enjoyable, very, very tasty. And then at the back end, you get the bitterness from the hops. Kind of a little bit of a piney, kind of almost oily hop. It's a pretty well balanced beer. The malt profile isn't super high. I would say the IB. I don't know what the IBUs on this beer are. Actually, they might say it on the bottle. No, it doesn't say. It does say to serve it at 45 degrees, which I like that it says what you should serve it at. It's been sitting out a few minutes. It's about 45 now, but anyway, I'm not sure what the IBUs on this beer are, but from the flavor, I'm thinking maybe around 20, 25, something like that. Excuse me, but this is a really nice beer. I'd have to say the standout flavor is definitely the caramel malt. It's really, really rich, middle of the palate. Almost has a nice sweetness to it. Excuse me. It is a very, very nice sweetness to it, actually. Um, this this is a really, really tasty beer. I had heard a lot about Fat Tire. I heard a lot of people talk about it, but again, it's only been available um, to me this year, and this is probably the fifth or sixth time that I've had it. I've had it a handful of times, and it's definitely a tasty beer. Carbonation's a little high for an amber ale. I mean, this is more like, I mean, it's more like, I mean, I would definitely take this for more like a lager or something, but overall, though, I mean, it's a really, really good beer. I really like Fat Tire. I have to say, again, my favorite part about drinking this beer is that when you drink it, you get that really smooth, rich, deep, that the caramel malt hits. The bready malts, it kind of goes from like a slight pale bready malt at the front of the palate, and then you get kind of the, I mean, it just, so it becomes a little more biscuity, and then you get the toffee, and then the caramel, just peak of the palate, just bam, right there. Really rich caramel malt, almost like a Werther's or something. Not nearly as sweet, but there's definitely a sweetness to it there. And then at the very back of the palate, you get that nice bitterness from the hops. It's a very well balanced beer. It's a very tasty beer. It's very simple, um, earthy in flavor, in a good way. A lot of times when people say something is earthy, that means it tastes like dirt. But I mean, it's just kind of a, when I say earthy, the malts have kind of a, it's like a more kind of, it's hard to, like a kind of rugged flavor. I don't know. It's hard to put it into words. But if you want to know for yourself, I'd say definitely go out and pick up Fat Tire Amber Ale from New Belgium. I'm gonna give this beer an 8 out of 10. This is a pretty good beer. That's a B, and hell, I'd say a B plus at that, because it'd be. I don't do the decimal system, but if I did, this would be like an 8, 9. This is right up there. Not quite a 9, not quite a 9, not quite an A, but it's right up there. But I'm gonna give it an 8, an even 8. It's a really, really good beer. So if you see it, pick it up. Yeah, I definitely enjoy this beer. I think you definitely will too. This is a really, really good beer. So again, 8 out of 10 for Fat Tire Amber Ale from New Belgium. And that's, again, the New Belgium Brewing Company out of Fort Collins, Colorado. So thank you for watching, and keep watching again in the future for more reviews. Prost!